The first week been like for you so far?
Well, it's been a lot of fun. I can tell you that, to be back on the field and part of a team again and staff. I've enjoyed that, and the players run around good, for that part. And so I think we're off to a good start, but we got a lot of work to do yet.
What do you think is the biggest dynamic between a vocal coach on defense and a guy like yourself kind of just sits back and watches?
I don't know. If you go back and look, and Coach Ditka wins the Super Bowl, and then they fall off, and people think he's too fiery, and then you have a guy like Tony Dungy win the Super Bowl, and so it's all about being yourself and your own personality, and the kids, at least, they know you have a passion for what you do. It's nothing else, If you coach with passion and teach the game with passion, then they'll play that way. So I don't think the personality has anything to do with it.
The environment, what's that been like for you, and just kind of picking up what it's like here?
I've enjoyed it. It's a true college town. Everybody in town, when they see you around, they're excited about the Cougs, and so that's a lot of fun. And so that's a little bit different than where I've been lately, but it's always glad to be somewhere where it's important, that's for sure. And you go off the student attendance and what I've heard about game day and all that. It's definitely important here, and so I look forward to contributing to that, hopefully.
You said when you got here, you were going to carry on some of the language and some of that
Yeah.
stuff. How has that gone?
It's gone good for the kids and not for me. It's I do scripts and things for practice, and so I've definitely written down the wrong call a few times now. And good thing is Coach Wilson and guys secondary, they get caught on. We have a little deal, go over the scripts, and so. But I still think that's the best thing to do. I mean, it'll be the end of spring before I know, in all the terminology, and I feel comfortable with it, But they have some things to learn new, but by keeping the terminology, not near as much.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of experience in the linebacking group, the secondary. Has that made your life easier the last week, and since you got here, that those guys are experienced and they know these lessons, they can help the young guys come along a little bit? Yeah,
the big thing is how we practice here, stripping the ball and being aggressive on the pursuit and those types of things, and then that's important that they've done that, the older guys, and leading the way there, so yeah, experience makes things a lot easier, and practice tempo, and then they have their new things that we're trying to get taught, and so they've got a learning curve also there. But I think the older guys have done a great job of leading in practice.
You've coached with Coach Phelps before. Yeah. Obviously, one of the biggest question marks coming into the season, defensively speaking, is getting after the quarterback. You guys lost some key players there from last year. What do you think you're looking for from the D-line coming into this season?
Same as a year ago. We're going to be aggressive and get after it, and that's part of college. You lose players. That's what it is. You can't sit around and complain about it. And I think we've got some young guys there that got some good motors and done some good things so far. So that's not a concern of mine up front. I think we'll play well. I've known Coach Phelps a long time, and the kids that are up there, is that we still have to find the depth and how it's going to work in the secondary. I mean, that's my biggest concern.
What's it been like working with Mike? And I guess what have you learned about him since being there?
It's been great. Is that usually is that you don't get this much work against the passing game in spring ball, and that's the hardest thing to teach, especially with the zones, the zone concepts that we're running, and so it's been great, and practice to let you strip the ball and some things like that, I've enjoyed being a part of the whole staff. I mean, it's been a lot of fun.
How about having some head coaching experience coming into this role? How has that transition been for you? And I guess what did having that head coaching experience do to help you?
Good. I think you learn not to panic too much, and plus learning get along with all the kids. I'm working hard to try to learn something about all the kids. And as a head coach, that was one thing I thought was important. And now being a coordinator where I don't truly have a position, to still make sure that I'm communicating with all the kids. So That's the biggest thing. And then they got to learn my personality. Is that we coach hard, but we have a lot of fun. But none of it's personal. And as we get to go, it'll just get smoother as it goes, because not only their personalities, they know mine. I've got to learn theirs, because I think everybody's different, and find what buttons to push for each kid to get the best out of them. So that's the challenge that I have.
Spring ball, over your tenure, has it been the area where you can put your lab coat on and maybe experiment a little bit more than getting into fall camp?
Yeah, there's no doubt. Is that as a coaches, we love spring ball, because you get to teach football without the pressure of a game. Preparing for a game. But obviously, and there you win and lose based on effort and each day and how well kids pick up things. So it's not based on a scoreboard. So yeah, this is the time that if we're going to try something, we're going to experiment with it. Same as moving a player, playing a player in a certain position, is that we'll take 2 or 3 days and experiment with something, and then move on and evaluate it when spring ball's done, as far as if we want to use it as part of the package or use that person in that place for the fall.
Do you find it any less demanding or less stressful being a DC as opposed to a head coach, where you don't have your popping on the whole operation, just one part of it?
Yeah, still I have a fear of not being able to stop anybody. I've had that since I started being a D coordinator, and some people say, oh, you shouldn't motivate yourself that way, but I do, and so I watch a lot of film, and we visit with the staff, and that's my job, is to keep people off the scoreboard and give us an opportunity to win. So yeah, I have nightmares about not being able to stop people, and that's kind of what gets me up in the morning and gets me going.
You talked about your coaching style being a little more soft-spoken. Did you inherit that from anybody, any professional coach or anyone you've coached with, or has it just been something that's kind of been a part of you since you started doing this?
Yeah, you got to be who you are, and that's not my personality. I can go off like a stick of dynamite every now and then too, but I don't like to do that. I like to teach football. I don't enjoy yelling and stuff like that. I like to teach football, and so hopefully we'll get along good enough, and that's what we'll do. But you have to be who you are. If you try to be somebody else, the kids are going to know you're phony, and you got no chance. So you got to be who you are.
Coach, we get to know some of these guys' personalities pretty well. Has anybody stood out with just kind of on the field or off the field?
It's hard to tell right now. I'm after one day in pads, and that, so that's the one place, is this is the first time I really got to work with the kids a bunch and stuff like that. So we're on the 20 hours a week, and so I'll get a lot better at getting to know the kids and personalities and things like that.